Fort King George Lighthouse structure refurbished, National Emblems Bill passed unanimously, Tourism Secretary and Minister deny SOE course cruise ship cancellation, and the 58-year-old man to be charged for cultivating cannabis near school. Good evening, I am Bianna Brebner. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Tuesday, 14th January 2025. To our top story this evening, the lighthouse structure at Fort King George has been refurbished at a cost of $5 million. The refurbishment was unveiled at a recommissioning ceremony which took place on Monday evening. The completion of the project marks the first from the list of the THA deliverables for fiscal 2025. Reporter Candice Jackson was at the recommissioning ceremony and shared more details.
Do you remember back in the day when you were coming up on the ferry, perhaps the panorama, and you saw that little light on top of Fort King George beaming, signaling that you were home in Tobago? Well, guess what? That light is back. Well, not quite yet. After languishing for over 2 decades, the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation began refurbishing the lighthouse. However, oversight and maintenance of the beacon itself fall under the responsibility of the Maritime Services Division under the Ministry of Works and Transport. According to Secretary Tashia Boris, the two entities met in 2022.
A commitment was given on that day for the THA to undertake the restoration of the lighthouse with the promise that the Maritime Services Division would be the ones responsible for replacing the light. But we see where promises go.
As a result, the THA took it upon itself to order a replacement light, which is expected to be installed by early March. Boris shared that it was personally important to her to see the light beam once again.
And when this iconic light went dark, I felt as a child that Tobago went dark. And this light remained dark for more than 20 years. And I wouldn't correlate that darkness with any other period in our history. You could read and spell. But this administration has demonstrated our commitment to turning on the light finally.
The lighthouse, originally constructed in 1821, is one of the oldest structures on the island. It once served as a beacon guiding sailors safely to Tobago shores, with 2 white flashes every 30 seconds. The mechanics have also been repaired, and the lighthouse is ready to operate as soon as the light fixtures are installed. While it may no longer be essential for guiding sailors, the area representative for Bagatelle Bacalet, Natisha Charles Panton, hopes it will become a new symbol for the community.
I hope in this upgraded lighthouse is that this upgraded lighthouse will serve as a beacon of hope and pride, reminding us of our past, but also guiding us towards a brighter future and a more fruitful future for Tobago.
Plans are also in place to install an observation deck as part of Phase 2 of the refurbishment works. In the meantime, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine stated that the refurbishment symbolizes the THA's commitment to preserving the island's history.
All of our history, all of it weren't pleasant, but all of it is worth telling at this time. All of it is worth preserving at this time.
Refurbishment works were carried out in-house by EID Cut at a cost of $5 million. The Tobago Heritage Conservation Society collaborated closely on the project to ensure the preservation of its historical integrity. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
On August 18, 2024, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced the proposed changes to Trinidad and Tobago's coat of arms, aiming to replace Columbus tree ships with the steel pan. Yesterday afternoon, Parliament convened to debate the potential removal of the Nina, Pinta and Santa Maria. The bill was passed unanimously. Reporter Joshel Dan has more on this story.
The National Emblems of Trinidad and Tobago Amendment Bill was passed in the Parliament on Monday, January 13, 2025. The bill amends Part 1 of the schedule to the National Emblems of Trinidad and Tobago Regulation Act. This means Columbus's 3 ships will be replaced by the national instrument, the steel pan. During his presentation, Minister of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, Randall Mitchell, argued for the removal of the coat of arms as part of broader efforts to decolonize national symbols.
In summary, Madam Speaker, a coat of arms holds great significance because it represents the soul of a country, weaving together its history, values sovereignty and unity in a powerful emblem that communicates pride, strength, and identity.
He explained that removing the 3 ships symbolizes the government's commitment to replacing colonial icons with representations that more accurately reflect the nation's culture and heritage.
The bill seeks to bring into force government's position and intention to modify our country's coat of arms established in 1962 by replacing the representation of Columbus's ships with our national treasure, our very own national musical instrument, the steel pan.
With the change to the steel pan, Minister Mitchell stated that certain documents will need to be updated. However, he assured citizens that there is no immediate need to visit government offices for these updates. The Minister of National Security will announce a future date when the updated documents will be required,
such as passports, ID cards, and driver's licenses, money bills, currency, legal tender, are issued to subsist for a number of years. The minister in this case, Minister of National Security, can by order prescribe a later date that the former coat of arms on these documents will be valid in respect of those documents.
Joshel Dan, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Tobago President Beverly Ramsey Moore has lauded the move to replace the Nina, Pinta and Santa Maria on the coat of arms with the steel pan. In a media release issued today, Ramsey Moore stated the inclusion of the steel pan on the national coat of arms is a significant milestone for our nation. It embodies the resilience, creativity and unity of our people. She also thanked Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley and the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Arts, Randall Mitchell, for their support in advancing global recognition of the steel pan. We'll take a break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Attention, members of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Are you ready to take the next step and help shape your credit union's future? This is your chance to get involved. We're now accepting nominations for elections at our 75th Annual General Meeting 2025. Open positions include spots on the Supervisory Committee, the Board of Directors, and the Credit Committee. Nomination packages are available on our website www.twcu.co.tt, or you can pick one up at our Port of Spain or Tobago offices. The completed forms can be dropped off at the said offices or emailed to nominations@twcu.co.tt no later than January 17, 2025 at 3 p.m. For more information, visit our website at www.twcu.co.tt. Don't miss this opportunity to make a difference. Apply today and guide the future of your credit union. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With Amplia TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with Amplia's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With Amplia, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. Amplia. Do more, live more.
Welcome back. Despite newspaper reports, both the Tourism Division and the Ministry of Tourism have denied the cancellation of 2 cruise ship calls was directly caused by the declaration of the state of emergency. Reports suggest that other factors contributed to the cancellation of visits to Scarborough. However, the SOE has led to some cancellations of visit trips to Tobago. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
While 2 cruise ship calls to Scarborough were cancelled, Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation Tasha Burris is hesitant to attribute the cancellations to the current state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago.
If it was because of the SOE, I cannot say, because that's not the information that I received from the tour operator and the cruise ship company that is responsible for bringing the cruises to the destination.
The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts also denied the reports, clarifying that the cancellation of 1 cruise ship, the Norwegian Jade, scheduled to visit Tobago on January 10th, occurred months before the state of emergency was declared. No reason was provided for this cancellation. Additionally, the ministry explained that another vessel, Costa Fortuna, scheduled to visit on December 26, 2024, was cancelled a few days prior due to over 300 passengers experiencing flight delays to the port of departure, prompting the cruise line to remove Tobago from its itinerary. While these cancellations do not appear to be related to the SOE, Secretary Tasha Burris noted that some international visitors have cancelled their trips as a result of an emergency declaration.
I can tell you that from a domestic front, we don't seem to be experiencing any fall-off, because obviously Trinidadians will still come to Tobago. I know that our international visitors and our international partners have expressed a concern about the SOE and the 3 negative travel advisories that followed that from the US, UK and Canada, but they are right now monitoring the situations.
Cancellations were also highlighted by tourism stakeholders during last week's Tobago Security Council stakeholders meeting. Meanwhile, reports of cruise ship cancellations have raised concerns from Minority Leader Calvin Morris. He pointed to an overall decrease in cruise ship calls to Tobago, dropping from over 70 in 2024 to approximately 40 projected for 2025. Morris accused Secretary Tasha Burris of mismanaging the cruise ship sector and failing to develop a strategic plan to effectively market the destination. Burris previously explained that the decline in cruise ship arrivals is primarily due to ongoing port upgrades in Puerto Rico, a major departure point for cruises to the Southern Caribbean. She noted that these upgrades have impacted cruise ship calls to several Caribbean destinations. Despite the reduction in cruise ships, Burris reported an increase in international arrivals.
That based on the numbers that we are seeing and the reports that we got from BA when we attended World Travel Market last year, we were already 15% ahead in our forward bookings for this year going into 2025. I don't know how much of that has changed because of the announcement of the state of emergency, but I can tell you based on what I've seen a number of tourists on island.
Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
On Monday afternoon, members of Parliament convened at the Red House to debate the proposed 3-month extension of state of emergency, which was eventually granted. During the debate, Opposition Leader Kamala Prasad-Bissessar expressed concerns regarding several regulations that would remain in effect for an extended period. Reporter Josh Eldan tells us more.
One of the main concerns raised by opposition leader Kamala Prasad-Bissessar during the SOE extension debate was Regulation 11, which addresses gun amnesty. Although inactive, the regulation allows individuals to surrender firearms or ammunition without prosecution. She questioned the rationale behind its inclusion and its intended purpose.
Despite having a gun amnesty as part of regulations, National Security Minister Fazil Al-Rahman says it was never government policy. So how did it get in there? Police made notes at answers. How did you put this regulation there, which is so clearly in breach of everything? And I ask again, is there any serious investigation into any government official holding a prohibited weapon illegally? And was this a blight to allow such an official to come and handle it and disappear? I think there was some story recently.
She highlighted that Trinidad and Tobago's declaration of a state of emergency has led several key source markets for tourism to issue travel advisories, emphasizing the negative impact on the country, which is currently in need of foreign exchange.
Already there's stories coming out of Tobago that cruise ships are not docking, 2 cruise ships, they're not docking because of this SOE. At this time, Minister of Finance and the country needs Forex. How is this going to impact on those other matters? That's why I say we could probably review this.
Another concern raised by Prasad Bissessa was Regulation 22, which grants members of the Defense Force powers similar to those of police officers. She pointed out that this regulation was not supported in 2011 and questioned why it is being enacted now.
So what has changed? Now you're giving these Defense Force persons the same powers as the police. What has changed, and why was it bad then, and why is it good now? And how will you give the protections that you were so concerned about in 2011, how will those will operate now under your emergency power regulations?
She said that had the government taken heed of their proposals and recommendations, the country's murder rate would not have escalated to its current level.
Having ranted about my proposal, our proposal in 2011, and my proposal at the start of last year, January last year, how many lives of those 625 could have been saved if we had taken that step then to come now and admit, in effect, that we were right all along.
Jusha Dan, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Heads must roll over reports of police officers hiding from being afraid to perform their duties during the current state of emergency, according to Chairman of the Tobago Business Chamber, Martin George. He was responding to statements made by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley during the conclusion of the debate in Parliament on Monday on a proposal to extend the state of emergency for another 3 months. George stressed that as head of National Security Council, Dr. Rowley must act immediately to address these troubling reports.
Because it cannot be that you sit there at the top of the executive of the TTPS and these things are occurring under your watch and there's no accountability or responsibility. And I think that it is clear that the Prime Minister has to take some decisive action in this regard.
George also stated that the Ministry of National Security should be held accountable for actions of police officers. Describing the situation as troubling, he questioned what this would mean for the rest of the population.
So if the police are hiding from the criminals, what does that leave for us, the ordinary citizens? It is truly a despicable and deplorable state of affairs. And we hope that there's going to be some decisive action taken as a result. Otherwise, it is clear that we want to continue doing the same things over and over and expect different results.
If the situation persists, George expressed doubts about whether law enforcement would make any significant progress in the fight against crime. You are watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Put a smile on your
Thanks for staying with us. At around 11:20 p.m. on Monday, January 13, 2025, an intelligence-led operation by officers from the Tobago Divisional Task Force Area East, Roxborough Police Station, Charlottesville Police Station, the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, and the Coast Guard resulted in the discovery of a cannabis cultivation operation in Zion Hill, Belgarden, Tobago. The team searched a residence approximately 270 meters from a primary school, uncovering 13 fully grown cannabis plants and 20 seedlings planted in growing bags, styrofoam cups, and buckets. Inside the property, 3 uprooted cannabis plants were found drying on a clothesline. A 58-year-old man was arrested in connection with the find and is expected to be charged with possessions of cannabis for trafficking and cannabis cultivation. The total weight of seized drugs was 570 grams. Investigations are ongoing. Do you need to renew your national ID card? Well, you will have to now show proof of address when going in to have it renewed. Starting January 20th, 2025, the Elections and Boundaries Commission will require proof of address for all national ID card registration transactions. In a notice dated January 13th, the EBC explained the move aims to enhance accuracy in ID card issuance. Applicants must present a utility bill dated within the last 3 months, along with a copy for applications, renewal, or replacement of ID cards. Accepted bills include cable, electricity, water, landline, phone, and on-premise internet. While electronic bills are allowed, they must be printed. If the bill is not in the applicant's name, a signed letter of authorization from the homeowner or landlord, along with their ID and confirmation of the applicant's residency, is required. Handwritten letters are also accepted. Last evening, Tobago Updates aired a news story titled PNM United Against Stuart Young. We acknowledge that this was an unfortunate error and the headline should have read, PNM United Behind Stuart Young. We deeply regret this oversight and sincerely apologize for any confusion or misunderstanding it may have caused. At Tobago Updates, accuracy, fairness, and credibility are the core of what we do, and we take full responsibility for this lapse. We are taking steps to ensure that such errors are not repeated in the future as we continue to deliver reliable and trustworthy news to our viewers. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
The weather update from the TNT Met office. Tonight mostly clear and cooled apart from an odd shower. Tonight's temperatures are expected to be at 23 degrees Celsius. For tomorrow, predominantly hot and sunny despite the chance of brief isolated showers. A mostly fair and cool night is anticipated. Daytime temperatures will rise to 31 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 34 degrees Celsius. Seas will be moderate with waves 1.5 to 2 meter in open waters and near 1 meter occasionally choppy in sheltered areas. Seas may occasionally become agitated due to the combined effects of long period swells and spring tides. Hazardous sea alert yellow level remain in effect. Tomorrow's sunrise is expected at 6:26 and sunset at 5:58. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Here's a recap of the headlines before we go. Fort King George Lighthouse structure refurbished, National Emblems Bill passed unanimously, Tourism Secretary and the Minister deny SOE cause cruise ship cancellations, and the 58-year-old man to be charged for cultivating cannabis near school. I am Biana Brebner. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.